Hey everybody, welcome back to Nicsminibikes. If you haven't yet, hit that link down in the description. Go check out the merchandise. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. Go get you something. So today we got a Coleman B200R here, and we're just going to be doing a governor delete along with parts that'll make it rev higher safely. We got an ARC billet rod for it. We got a cast aluminum flywheel. And some new valve springs. This is a kit from Racer ProQuip off of eBay. I'll link it in the description. It's for a Honda clone 196, and everything should bolt right up to this and make it a lot safer to rev to higher RPMs. So come along for the ride, and let's get this governor deleted out of this Coleman B200R. Alright, so we'll get started just by draining the oil here. If you know an easy way to do this without getting it everywhere, I'd be interested in that. And while that drains and makes a mess everywhere, we'll get this clutch off of here. So the B200R has the jack shaft set up here. So to get this off, we'll just knock out our master link. It's right here. And we'll use an impact on the clutch bolt. Our clutch should slide right off. And our spacer. Now we can get to these 4 bolts that hold this backing plate on. There's 1 bolt on the back side here that we'll take off before we do the 4 on the front. Now we can get these 4 mounting bolts off. Now this clutch backing plate is ready to come off. We can just wiggle this chain off. And there's our jack shaft setup. And we'll set that to the side. We're done on this side. We'll go over to the other side and start taking things apart over there. So on this pull starter side of things, I want the whole fan shroud off so I can get access to the flywheel. The last thing I'm going to do on this side is pop this coil off of here. That coil loosened out of the way. Now we have access to get this flywheel off. And we'll use an impact to break this flywheel nut loose. Your cup will come off. Your fins will come off. Thread the nut back on. Then we'll get a pry bar underneath that flywheel. And we'll give this nut a few whacks. And there's our flywheel. These Coleman flywheels have magnets on the inside. That's what runs your light. When you switch to a billet or cast aluminum, you lose these. So these little coils here can come off. So we got those all loose. They'll come right off. We got the hold down bracket off. Won't need that anymore. Pull this heat shield off. Just enough to get these out of there. Just throw them out front for now. We'll get into the wiring harness and get them off later. Put this back on because for some reason I always forget it. I am trying to do this without taking the engine out. I've never done that before. I just wanted to see if we could do it. So that's what we're doing here. I don't want to take the head off. I don't want to take the engine out. I am going to have to take the tank off. So let's do that. So there's one bolt on the back side of the tank we need to get that off. And if you take the spark plug boot off, you can usually get to it. There it is. 210s on the front. And we'll disconnect the vent line here. And we'll do the fuel line down at the carburetor. Oh, that's full. I didn't know that was full. Because we're going to have access to this governor arm here. Let's see about disconnecting these wires now. It's just one little plug here that'll get these out of our way. And there's our coils removed. So now we're done on this side. We'll go to the other side and get the side cover taken off. So our side cover is going to be more 10mm bolts. Just crack them loose. Our kit did come with the new side cover gasket. But if this one survives coming off, we'll just reuse it. We're not going to go out of our way to save it like we didn't have one. But if it survives, we'll reuse it. So there we go. Our cam came out with the side cover, which is fine. Not a big deal at all. The lifters slid out, and I heard our push rods fall too, so we'll just pull them out, I guess, for now, instead of fighting with them. There we go. Now I'm ready to crack loose the connecting rod bolts. There's one connecting rod bolt, and our second bolt, and our connecting rod cap. And then our crankshaft, which I want out so I can measure the connecting rod journal. Alright, so we got our ARC rod taken apart, and we're going to clean it with some parts cleaner. Just hose it down. Then I like to wrap it in a microfiber or really anything, and I'll put it in the vise. Should have soft jaws, but I don't, so I use the microfiber. It holds it just fine. Then we got our ARC bearings here, and it doesn't matter which one goes in the cap and which one goes in the rod. So we got one there. You can see a little notch there. It's for that little tooth there. So we'll clean this bearing off. And we'll slide it into place. When you put it in there, that hole needs to line up with the hole in the bearing. And we'll do the same for the cap. We'll clean it. And we'll clean the bearing. Same thing. There's a spot right there for the little tooth on the bearing. It's just like a locator. And we'll press it right in there. And you got little dots. You got a dot there and a dot on the rod. Those go together, so this cap goes this direction here. You get a little bit of oil on your rod bolt and put it on in there. Get it down finger tight, and then we'll get oil on the next one. And we'll put it on in there. So ARC wants us to start at 60 inch-pounds. So that's what we'll do. Then go up by 20 inch-pound increments. So now we'll go to 80. And we'll go to 100. And they want you to go to 150, so I'm going to jump 25 this time. Then I'll go to my 150. And they want you to back it down to 100. I don't know how to torque down to 100. We're just going to back them off. Bring them back to 100. Then we'll go 20-pound increments. We used oil, so we're going to go to 170. So here's 120, 140, then we'll go to 160. Then we'll take it to the 170. Now we can go measure this and our crank and get our oil clearances. You can see with the rag, no damage to the rod. So back here at the crankshaft, we got our micrometer here, and I've already measured it, so I'm only going to do it once for you guys. We got 1 inch, 175 plus 5 is 180. On the dot. I got this set to nominal, 1 inch, 180. And we'll just get that bore gauge into the micrometer. And we'll zero it out. Remember, my gauges are backwards. Negative is big, positive is small. We're zeroed out there. So we got that in the bore there. Negative is big, positive is small. So the bigger the number, the smaller we are. We get 3 thou, that direction. Three thou that direction. So we got 3 thou oil clearance. That's perfect. So we'll just leave these sitting here and we'll go back over to the block. All right, so now we're ready to actually start unhooking the governor here. We got this 10mm nut here. Back it off. I do this a little different. I will be reusing this and this. Spread it apart and just slide that rod right off of there, and it can just dangle over there. We'll pull our pin. We'll just leave it sitting on top because we'll be reusing it. Then we can reach in, pull that whole hockey stick governor arm out of there. And then to help us with our throttle linkages, I'm going to reuse this and the arm, and I'm going to cut this off right below those ears. See these ears? I'm going to cut it right below there. So I'm going to go cut this real quick, and I'll be right back. So we got that cut just like that. We'll put our washer back on it, and we'll just slide it right back up into its hole like that. And our pin back in place. Now we're ready to get this governor gear in the back of the motor taken out. So to get that out of there, I have a punch here. And just a couple whacks, that gear come right out of there. Now back on this side, it'll usually always leave a washer back here. There it is. Make sure you get that washer. So now we're back on this side, and we're going to tap that hole that pin came out of. I'm going to use a 1/4-20. We're just going to get it as straight as we can. I got some grease on that to catch as much chips as possible. And I also have a rag inside the block to catch anything that goes inside. And we'll just back that out, and we'll have our threads made. You can see how much that grease actually catches, keeps it from going into the engine. And hopefully our rag on the other side picked up quite a bit too. So we're going to go to the inside of the block and we're going to spray that out with some parts cleaner. So we got that hole tapped, we got it all cleaned out, we got our bolt, and we're just going to load it up with thread locker and we'll thread it into place. And the idea with all the thread locker is that it'll act as a sealer. So there we go. So doing the linkage this way, this spring here will have to go away. So that spring there goes away and it'll get replaced with a solid rod later. For now, I just want it off of there. So we did all this work without taking the head off, and that is our goal, my goal. And now we'll see if we have to take the head off. If we can get this rod swapped without the piston rings popping out, we'll be good to go. But I doubt it. Oh, wow. That clip is out. I've not been in here. So that clip is out already, so I'm glad we're in here. So with the bore gauge, we can see there's a big giant score inside that cylinder wall. So this is a customer's bike, and we'll give him a call and see what he wants to do from there. We're gonna continue on here anyway. But if we can just get that down just far enough to slide that pin out of there, I'll be happy. Almost there. Be really careful. It's a fine line between got it and don't got it. So there's our stock rod. So we got our new rod here with some oil on it. Now we'll try getting this back in there without that piston coming out any farther than it already is. I can't believe that that clip was loose like that. That blows my mind. But we're going to carry on. So we got that clip back in there, and we'll see if that piston will push back up into that cylinder. And it will. So we're just going to go all the way up. Take some oil, get it on our bearing surface. Got our crankshaft, get some oil on the journal there. And we'll slide her back into place. All right, so I talked to the customer. He said he's fine with what's going on in there, and he will just enjoy it till he can't. So we're going to continue. We're going to put some oil on our connecting rod cap, and we got some oil going on our first bolt there, and we'll get this installed. Get some oil on our second bolt, and get that one in place too. And we'll start torquing her down. 60 inch-pounds. So we got that at 60. We're just going to spin this around, make sure we're clear everywhere. Clear at the top, clear at the back. We clear the cylinder wall at the bottom, and we clear at the top. So we're good to go to finish tightening this down. So our next step is going to be 80, 100, 120, 140. I'm going to go 155, and our final torque of 170. Because we used oil, clean our tappets, get some fresh oil on them, slide them into place. Make sure we got oil on the faces. Cleaned our cam, dumped oil on it. Line up our timing marks. Now we're ready to get the side cover put back on. Put our dowels in place. Get this face wiped off. Decided we got a gasket with the kit, so why not use it? Just put a new one on there. We'll wipe the side cover face off. There's no junk on there. New Racer ProQuip gasket goes on there, and then our side cover. And then our 6 side cover bolts. And we'll torque those to 17 foot-pounds. And this side's all buttoned up. Now we're ready to go to the other side and start installing our flywheel. So we got our keyway pointed up, and we'll just tap that on out of there. Put that in a safe place so we forget what we did with it. We'll wipe this shaft off a little bit here. Got a lot of dirt on it. We'll put a little bit of valve grinding compound on here. Take our Racer ProQuip cast aluminum flywheel. It's advertised as 28 degrees of timing. And we're just going to do this for a little bit. Don't really take much. And that's probably good there. And we'll wipe as much of the excess off here as we can. And hopefully you can see the color change there where that flywheel has lapped in to that crankshaft. Don't skip that step, and don't skimp out on cleaning that compound off the flywheel. And the crankshaft. So now that we got that all cleaned off, we can put this key back in. Make sure that you use the biggest possible hammer you can find, because you can, I guess. And just tap it back into place. And your flywheel will go right into place. And then your cup and your nut. Okay, we got to torque that flywheel nut to 60 foot-pounds, and to do that I have this special tool that I made a long time ago. It slides on like this. Then I'm able to get a bolt through it, thread it into that side cover. And it holds it in place while we torque it. Get 2 bolts in it like that. And back on this side, we'll go 60 foot-pounds. Got my torque wrench set. And back on this side, this can come off. Now we're back on this side. We'll take this airbox off and start working on getting a throttle. So I actually found this piece in the garage. Looks like it might have been for this at some point in its life. Just unhook this from there. And I like that. Feed this back through here. Get it back in there. And see about getting it back into here. So that's really close to smidge short. Yep, we're just gonna need a longer one. But we got a general idea. We just want something shaped almost exactly like that, just a little bit longer. So let me get that made up and I'll bring you right back. All right, so I fiddled with this for a while and I ended up using another regular throttle rod off of a 212 Predator. I just had some laying around, and this one should get us what we need. I have tried it already. It looks like it's pretty good, but we'll use the J-hook side, the bottom of the throttle assembly there. Let's set that there. Take our old governor arm and put it through the hole like so. Then we'll put that on, get it bottomed out, and I should be able to tighten this nut up. Now that's not going anywhere. Then we can take our original throttle rod, Get it put into that governor arm and into the carburetor over here. Get our spring put back in place. I don't know if you really need the spring anymore, but we're going to leave it there. Push that carburetor back, and we're up against that idle adjuster there. And we get full throttle, and it comes and it stays up against that idle adjuster, which is exactly what we wanted. So that's our throttle sorted. Just pretty simple. I'm gonna leave that air box off for now because I need to get into this valve cover, and the more room I got, the better. I'll probably even be taking that exhaust off and put our gas tank back on. This is gonna make a mess probably, but it's part of it, I guess. Just keep it covered to the last possible second and slide it on there. And we got our one bolt that comes in from the back side here. We'll get that one screwed in. Then we got the two nuts on the front here. So we're ready to go ahead and reset our coil gap here. And we're going to use a 30 thou filler gauge. And instead of sticking it in there like that and trying to push and smash it, and I just slide it in this way. Set one leg and just lightly tighten it. And then I'll let it pivot down. To the other one, because we want a little more than 30 with the heavier duty magnets that these come with. And this will just give us a little more than 30. So there's my coil reset. Make it good and tight. And we can go ahead and get our fan shroud put back on too, as we're all done fiddling around over here. So we'll get these 4 bolts started by hand. Pretty nice. And we'll snug them down with a wrench. They strip really easy, so we're not going to go crazy on these. Now we need to get into this valve cover, so I'm just going to pull this exhaust off. Just gives me more room here for that valve adjustment that we're going to have to give it. Now let's get this valve cover off of here. While the bolt's out, this valve cover should just pop right off. Now to adjust your valves, you're going to need a 14 millimeter wrench and a 10 millimeter wrench. We'll just back them off. and doing springs. So we'll just back these off all the way, get these out of here. Along with the adjusters. And the whole rocker arm. Get those off of there. That lash cap, we don't want that going down in the engine. So we'll try to get that off. Perfect. All right, so I did one side already, and now I'll show you how I did that. So I want that piston to go down into the bore all the way like that. And then I'm just gonna stuff a piece of string down in there. And we got probably 5 or 6 feet of string here. Rope, I guess it is. And we're just gonna start stuffing that in there. And we're gonna do all of it except for maybe the last 6 inches. And then we'll leave this little tail hanging out of there. I'm gonna pull the pull starter, bring that piston up, and it's gonna smash that string up into the face of the valves. And won't pull anymore. So that's gonna hold our valves up so they don't fall down into the cylinder. And these springs are really easy. You just push and push to the side, and they come right out. That's a stock spring there. You see how that retainer works. The valve comes through the bigger hole here. You push it down over it and you slide it over, and the smaller hole there keeps it in place. We'll take our new spring. These are 18-pound valve springs from Racer ProQuip. Same thing to install it. We'll just push it down. Slide it over. And there's our valves installed. Lash cap on the exhaust. We'll just spin that motor backwards a little bit, and we should be able to pull this string right out of there. Look how long that is. Just keeps coming. Coming. And that's our valve spring swapped out. We'll use our screwdriver again to get this back up to top dead center. Looks like we were there, but we'll bring it back. Right in there. We don't need it perfect. We just want it close. Then we'll start with our exhaust. That way we can catch that lash cap before it disappears on us. And we're just going to go down till it stops nice and soft. And do it to both of them. Alright, we got those kind of snug. We'll pull it over. And we got movement on both of them, which means our push rods are in our lifters at the bottom. So now we'll watch that exhaust, watch the intake, and we'll watch for the bump. There's our bump. Now we should be on compression stroke right there. Then I'll just put our lock nuts on. Back them off a little bit. Other lock nut, jam nut, whatever you want to call it, and back them off a little bit. 3/1000 filler gauge. And we'll just do it by feel. Tying down our lock nut. And there's a good 3/1000 on that one. And we'll do our other one. Just get it snug on there. That jam nut down. 14, 10. Tighten the lock nut, jam nut, and then we'll back off the big one so we get a little play. And we'll tighten up the jam nut. That feels good. That feels good. The exhaust is a little tighter, but it's fine. We'll give it a few pulls and we'll double check it. Exhaust, intake, compression release, right there. I loosened up a little bit. It feels pretty good. They feel about the same. Big towel. So we're good there. I like it. Valve lash is set. Got our gasket on our valve cover. We'll just set it in place. And we'll start all 4 bolts by hand. As everything else. Everything gets started by hand. And we'll shoot these down. We'll put our exhaust back on. Put our spark plug back in. Our air box. Make sure our hose goes back into the valve cover. 2 nuts. $10 socket. And we'll rehook up our vent valve over here. Plug our boot back onto the spark plug. That motor's done. It just needs oil in it. So we'll come back over to this side and we'll get this clutch assembly put back together. So we got our 4 bolts started. Now we'll just shoot them down. We've got our clutch spacer, our clutch, and our clutch bolt. And our jack shaft chain. And the master link. And the last thing we got is the jack shaft cover here. So that's going to do it. In my opinion, that is a good, proper way to do a governor delete. Takes a little more work and a little more time to do it that way, but it's proper. There's a billet rod in there. That cast aluminum flywheel is good for whatever RPM this motor is going to give it, and those 18-pound springs are going to keep it from floating the valves. If I were to pay somebody to do a governor delete, I would expect them to check my oil clearances on the rod and the crank like I did, and to do that, the crank has to come out. That's just how it is. Normally, you would take the head off and pull the whole piston out and swap the rods. I wanted to try it that way. I've tried it one time before and the piston came too far out, so the head had to come off anyway. This time the head did not have to come off. We got it good to go. That wrist pin keeper clip, it was just sitting in its bore, just sliding up and down with that piston for who knows how long. So I'm glad we got in there and we found it now. There's a little bit of scoring in the cylinder. I didn't take the piston out to look at the rings. The customer said the bike was running great when he brought it, so he said just finish putting it together and he's just gonna rip it. I've not put oil back in this bike yet, or I would start it for you. I got to run to the store and get some oil. I don't have any on hand, not enough to fill this bike back up. If you just glanced at this real quick, everything looks stock. You'd never know it was governor deleted, and I like that a lot. And it'd be really easy for him in the future to decide to put a slide carb on here. We could put it on there in 30 minutes or so and have no issues. We wouldn't have to open it up again or nothing. We didn't have to mess with the new bracket on the pull starter or nothing like that to delete the governor on it, and I think it looks really good the way it came out. So that governor's fully deleted. His top speed should go up a little bit. It's not going to be a rocket ship because it's not really built. It's just a safe governor delete. So this motor should last. It shouldn't lose a rod, and it's not going to throw a flywheel magnet. So we know those are good parts in this bike. But that wind's picking up, so if you haven't, hit that link down in the description. Go pick up some merchandise. We got hats, shirts, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. Go get you something, and make sure you like, share, hype the video, and subscribe. It's free for you, and it helps us out. We appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.